Shalawam. I'm your brother Yahawah from the branch of GMS, South Carolina Midlands. And before I start off, all praise, honor, and glory belongs to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, HaQadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who teach and who well. And Shalawam to you, hopeful elect, scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. To you, I say Shalawam. Shabbat, Shalawam. When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. As you can see, according to this news video, apparently Trump Nero 47 that says U.S.-Iran deal complete after months of negotiation. And what are they negotiating? Peace talks, ending the conflict, ending the war, all right, against, the U.S. and Israel against Iran. And we know that this is, contrary, as far as them coming to a peace agreement. We know that all that's going to be disannulled and, is contrary to what prophecy says, man. All right, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is preparing World War III, as it's already, kicked off, so to speak, but it hasn't gotten to the point to where nuclear missiles have been shot off, and it is going to escalate and get to that point. All right, as I play this video, you're going to see the reason why, it's going to escalate and get to the point to where nukes are shot off, okay, on America, Babylon the Great, and on those small hatters, all right, those imposters, parading around like they are the Israelites or the people of the Lord, all right, but really, they are the physical incarnate of Satan, the seed of the wicked, Esau, Edom, and Amalek specifically. All right, so I'm gonna play this video, fair use, not making any monetary gain off playing this video, strictly playing this video, all right, for edification and information purposes only.
We've got team coverage on this breaking news, starting with Keir Simmons in Doha. And Keir, we have some new reaction from Iran just coming into us.
That's right, Hallie. There are plenty of negotiations ahead, many questions, but this tonight is history in the making. From here in Doha, across the water in Iran, we're hearing Iranian television is announcing the end of the war. Tonight, President Trump's Iran deal set to be signed, he says, posting, "I hereby fully authorize the toll-free opening of the Strait of Hormuz," adding that the U.S. naval blockade will be removed. Pakistan's Prime Minister also writing, "Both sides have declared the immediate and permanent termination of military operations on all fronts, including in Lebanon."
It's been military pressure and strength from President Trump that's compelled Iran to this deal, which will be performance-based when it's signed.
But in Iran's capital, hardliners protesting against signing the memorandum. NBC News has not verified when the government-approved demonstration took place. And speaking to us before the announcement from Tehran tonight, a former Revolutionary Guard Corps commander says they still have many questions.
I think there's needs more negotiations.
Saying today was not the day to sign.
This day is not suitable for the sign the contract. This is the birthday of the Trump. The Trump is the supreme leader.
President Trump had said he expected them to sign a U.S.-Iran memorandum today, but the day descended into attacks and recriminations. This video shows Iran-backed Hezbollah firing drones at Israel today, according to the Israeli Defense Forces, which launched its own strikes against the militant group in Beirut, killing 3 people. Hours later, President Trump posting, "Israel's attack on Beirut should not have happened." A dramatic departure from Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu, who ordered the strikes. President Trump demanding no disruption to this important process. "All sides stand down," he wrote. And tonight, Hali, the Pakistani Prime Minister posting that there will be a signing ceremony next week on Friday in Switzerland. Hali?
We thank you for watching.
Hey, you can see who the problem is, man. All right. Them small hatters. All right, not just the small hatters, man. You better believe Nero 47, Trump, the United States administration is with and backing those small hatters and their attacks as well. All right. This is all just a ploy, all right, for, you know, what I heard. They're just trying to bring out the new leader because he's in hiding, you know, because, you know, the U.S. and Iran, you know, bombed his father and his family, you know, killed the Ayatollah, the former Ayatollah, and now the new one, his son, is in hiding. All right, and you know how these devils get down. You can never trust these devils, man. All right, and plus, you know, we understand what prophecy says, man. Ain't gonna be no peace talks, man. That's not gonna be the end all, be all. All right. This is 1 Thessalonians 5:1, and it says, "The day of the Lord. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night." All right, meaning that it's gonna catch people off guard, the ones who's not paying attention. All right, it's not gonna catch the elect off guard, but rather the 2/3 of the Israelites who's not paying attention. You know, caught up in the bread and the circus, the madness, the folly, and even trusting in what these devils are saying on the media. It says, "For when they shall say peace and safety," then this is what you're seeing. Peace talks, a peace deal complete. All right. And we know that, what does it say on? It says, "Then sudden destruction cometh upon them." So we know it's only going to escalate. It's only going to get to the point to more and larger bombs is going to be used. All right, into those ICBMs, intercontinental, all right, ballistic missiles, you know, are shot off, man. All right, shot off to destroy, all right, America, Babylon the Great, and those small hatters out of the Holy Land, man. All right, it says, "As travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." Yeah, this is the judgment of the Lord. Nobody escapes. Nobody gets away. All right. You know, Yahawashi have purpose, you know, these nations to gather themselves and get ready for war. And that's what it's going to be. All right. Ain't going to be no kumbaya on this side. And they come to a peace agreement and all the world is in agreement and allegiance. And everybody live in peace and harmony. And those nuclear missiles don't get used. No. The Lord is going to use those nuclear missiles and use these heathen leaders and their armies, all right, to go at one another. All right, and Yahawashi returning in the midst of World War III to destroy these heathens and all their armies. All right. It says Yahweh's wrath against nations, as dealing with these heathen nations. All right. And you 2/3 going to catch the destruction and wrath of the Lord as well. It says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let all the earth and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord Yahawashi is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies." Yeah, to dealing with World War III. "He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter." Yep. And this is future prophecy, man. Okay. Soon all their military might, because your military is your power. You know, soon the power will be stripped from all these heathen nations via World War III and via the second return of Yahawashi. It says, "Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll." Yeah, that's going into the end all, be all, when them nuclear missiles get shot off, and to fulfill their purpose, or what Yahawashi had purpose for those wasters, you know, to destroy, man. All right, that technology of the nuclear missiles, man. It says, it says, all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth from the vine, and as the falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. And let's talk about the missiles, all right, going into, the upper atmosphere and falling down, as it read on. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and that's to say Edom, the Greek word to say Edom, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So the Lord got big plans for you, Esau. Okay? You can say peace deals, peace talks all you want. Alright? But the Lord is getting you ready for World War III. Alright? Because every time they talked about peace talks with Iran, what happened? The small hatters always bombed, either Iran or, one of the allies of Iran, being like, for example, Hezbollah. Okay? That's how these devils get down, man. I didn't know they bombing in I believe, southern Lebanon. Okay? These devils, they don't know nothing but war, man. Okay? They're warmongers. They're thirsty for blood. And they're greedy. Okay? I was going to get a precept concerning those small hatters, right? This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 20. Yep. Is it 20? Slakia. 49 and 20. Yep. It's Jeremiah 49 and 20. I believe it's 1 and 50 and 51 as well. It says, therefore hear the counsel of the Lord, Yahawashi, that he have taken against Edom, the so-called white man, and his purposes that he have purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. And the least of the flock is dealing with you small hatters, man. All right, you insignificant, all right, low in number, weak beings, all right, bases of men, all right, with the tiny tops on your head, parading around like you're the people of the Lord, but yet you are the children of the wicked. All right, you're the seed of the wicked, all right, and you control and run every damn thing, all right, and you're the problem in the earth, man, okay? And the least of the flock is drawing them out. All right, America's been dragged into this war because of the small hatters. You might as well call it the United States of the small hatters, man. And everybody's beginning to wake up on who truly is in control of America, Babylon the Great. Okay? Those damn tiny tops, man. It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. All right, and with America being dragged into this war, all right, you guys, Western allies, NATO nations, EU nations getting dragged into this war. All right, and really all these heathen nations getting prepared and ready, all right, for World War III and for the final showdown, man. All right, to where in the midst of World War III, they're going to turn the fight against Yahawashi upon his second return and get obliterated, man. As it reads in 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter, man. Okay? See, we believers, man, we prophets specifically, we follow prophecy, man. We don't listen to these devils always talking about peace, and we know that they how many times they done said they came to agreement, man? How many times they keep saying that they are close to peace, We know that's not going to be so, man. There is no peace unto the wicked, man. All right, let me get that. All right, that's biblical prophecy, man. Ain't no peace to these devils, man. No peace to the wicked. Okay. Yep. Isaiah chapter 48 and verse 22. There is no peace, saith the Lord, Yahawashi, unto the wicked. You see? And this is ultimately because Yahawashi hates these damn devils, man. Alright, going back to Malachi, the 1st chapter, man. Alright. God's love for Jacob. The Lord loves Jacob. He loves the Israelites, man. Starting with his elect. It says, the burden of the word of the Lord, Yahawah, Bahasham to Israel, by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord, Yahawah. Yea, ye say, wherein have thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith the Lord, Yahawah, yet I love Jacob. And only Israelite without the understanding would ask that question or pose that question or think that thought. Alright, that the Lord don't love you, man. Alright, the Lord didn't love us. Alright, he could have just deleted us. Okay, but instead, he gave us this punishment. It was harsh punishment, but we still remain. And you see the point that we're at now. He brought us back to our remembrance, man. Okay, he's dealing. The Lord is dealing in the earth. Alright, but a man without understanding would ask that question. If the Lord love us, then why this? Why that? Why are we in this predicament? Okay, but the point, it says, verse 3. It says, Malachi 1:3, and I hated Esau. See, the Lord hates these devils. And yes, the Lord hates. That's a point that the Christians can't get over. They're thinking he's all love. No, he hates a nation known as Esau, really trickling down to his descendants, the Edomites, man. So-called white man. Starting with the wicked elite, man. It says, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Yeah, and during the time of the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Okay, when these devils was ruling. Alright, they fell out of power. The Dark Ages, you had Jake ruling. Alright, and we'll get to the point to where we at now via the Renaissance, to where they came back into power. Alright, it says, wherein Edom saith we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. The Renaissance, which means the rebirth. Alright, the second leg of the Roman Empire, Rome 2.0 here, in America and the West. It says, they shall build, okay, it says, they shall build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord, Yahawashi of hosts, the Lord of armies. They shall build, but I will throw down. You see, everything this devil has built up thus far and continue to build and add to his kingdom, including AI and its technologies, these data centers, and he's about to issue forth and implement the MOTB, this digital technocracy, this new world order. It says, they shall build, but I will throw down. He's going to throw it all down. And how's he going to throw it down? Nuclear missiles, man. World War III. Alright? No peace unto the wicked. Okay? They shall call them the border of wickedness. You see, Esau, subject matter. He's the border of wickedness. Meaning wickedness is his area, territory, expertise. It says, and the people against whom the Lord, Yahawashi, shall have indignation forever. So the Lord got righteous anger with these devils, the Esau, the Edomites, the so-called white man, forever. From the wicked elite on down to your average Joe six-pack Edomite out here, man. Okay. So yeah, man. Let me read that one more time, man. There's no peace unto the wicked. It's one thing we know and we understand. Isaiah 48:22. There is no peace, saith the Lord, Yahawah, Bahasham unto the wicked. So to be established who the wicked is, Esau, Edom. Ain't no peace coming to these devils, man. Ain't be no prolonging in your kingdom. And guess what? How do we know this? Because we follow prophecy, man. Second 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. You see? So we measuring the times, man. Alright, we matching, everything that's happening within the news, whether it's an article or video, breaking news. Okay? We bring it out and filter it through the scriptures, man, because that's how we measure the time. That's the measuring tool. Alright? It says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And the Lord is surely visiting by earthquake, storm, and tempest, the flames of devouring fire. Alright, the Lord got the chariots presence. The Lord got his prophets, great awakening of Israel. Lord visiting, bro. Alright? And soon Yahawashi is going to be here, man. It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, which we're seeing that. Okay, a lot of protests, a lot of people in the uproar right now. Race tensions at an all-time high. People displeased with the governments. There are different governments around the world, man. We're seeing that, man. Earthquakes all over, different tremors, causing tsunamis, landslides, so on and so forth, man. Injuring and causing casualties, man. It says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world had the beginning and the end is manifest. And that's what we're seeing, man. The end is manifesting, man. Alright, this lines right over prophecy, man. Okay? This devil trying to offset prophecy, trying to bring peace. But a whole while, you falling right into prophecy, man. Peace and safety. Sudden destruction is around the corner, man. Alright, and this is the destruction of, Esau, Edom's kingdom, man. Alright? So Lord was edifying to the elect. With that to say, Shalawam, Shalawam to the full Lord.